All right, everyone. Welcome to this new moon Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for Saturday, November 18th, 2017, and the surrounding days of this new moon. So the new moon's in Libra, but of course, this video is for Sidereal Astrology. So if you're wondering why I didn't say Scorpio, do check the link down below. We're using the actual size of the constellations, which is different from mainstream astrology. All right, so today, or on Saturday rather, we do have this new moon in Libra. It's not a major new moon in terms of it forming major aspects. We do have some minor things going on with it. It will be trining up to Chiron, so maybe some healing with it. And the most important thing with it is that it is going to be squaring the North Node, meaning that a few months ago, 3 months ago, back in August, we had the eclipses. And this is now the halfway point between those eclipses, the ones from August and the ones we have coming up here late January and February. So it is significant in terms of the life path. I think a great time to set intentions for anything new you've started or been thinking about starting the past few months, and just really, taking those action steps along the life journey to cultivate things in our life in general. But Libra is about the scales, right? So it's all about balance. It's all about harmony. Could be new beginnings in terms of that in relationships in your life, but all in all too, just seeing where there can be balance in your life and, that equality there. So let's look at all of this here a bit more in detail when we return. All right, so here is the new moon chart for Saturday. So as you can see here, new moon in Libra, the constellation, very small constellation Libra is. So typically a new moon here sometimes won't happen in a year, but this year we do have one. And so yeah, the scales, right? All about bringing things into balance. So great time to sit with the energy over the weekend, see what can be brought back into balance in your life. I do recommend watching your weekly forecast that I do for each of the signs so you can see exactly what house this is pertaining to, but generally balance. So this definitely comes to the relationship sphere of things. Really good time for working within the mechanics, if you will, of relationships. Like the importance of cooperation, harmony, give and take, focusing on others' needs, right, in order to develop relationships and create them. So very good to be sort of integrated in that way. And I think over the next 30 days, there will be themes pertaining to this integration of this cooperation, harmony, etc. Libra is also about justice. So, it is a great time for just general interactions. I think to integrate a bit of what we consider to be the right thing, to do the right thing, right? So morality, justice, equality, that kind of stuff can certainly be permeating through this new moon. So it is going to be trining up to Chiron. So I think there's some good refreshing feelings with this, feeling a bit healed. It's still a very subtle time with the new moon. So again, it's a bit more internalized, but still nonetheless, excellent time for healing. Very naturally, very easily, without much challenge to do that. Mercury is transitioning into Ophiuchus here this weekend. So there is this energy to learn about healing, right? Learn about healing, learn about how we view things, learn about how we think about things, our perspective of things from this realm, from the realm of being aware of wounds and then accepting those wounds, and then maybe even taking action in the face of those wounds. Right, that kind of thing, which then supports the healing process. But I think it's going to come very naturally. So the square up to the North Node is the halfway point between the eclipses. Again, thinking back to August, new shifts, new changes, maybe at that time having to do with your self-expression, which is the North Node transiting Leo, or things you're passionate about, or bringing in a bit more passion in your life, or things you're interested in, stuff like this. But nonetheless, if there's anything you can do to challenge yourself along your life journey with this whole cycle and set some intentions perhaps in that way, again, to express yourself, to create, to be who you are with that Leo energy, I think is fantastic. And yeah, and then what we'll find is the work we're doing now that we could be challenging ourselves to do will be coming to a high point, a fruition, a cultivation late January and February regarding this whole stuff with this solar eclipse cycle. All right, so that is the new moon. A couple other things this weekend. Actually, it's a very impactful weekend. We got a few things going on. One thing I do want to mention first is that Venus is transitioning into Libra this weekend. So along with the new moon here, there is more of a value, I think, where we're seeing the value of this Libra stuff, of harmony, of cooperation. We could be enjoying it. We're wanting it, right? Libra naturally does, or Venus naturally rules Libra. So there's very comfortable for Venus to be in. She's been in nitty-gritty Virgo the past couple months. So more of the relationship stuff has maybe been more about improvement, perfection, details, pragmatism, that kind of stuff. It wasn't the best place for Venus. In fact, she was debilitated in Virgo. So we will likely notice this shift over the weekend of her coming out of that more challenging sign for her into a very comfortable sign of wanting equality, harmony, that type of stuff. All right, so let's look at some of these aspects. We've got Friday leading up to the Saturday new moon is excellent for listening. It's the ending phase of the cycle, and also releasing some things. Are there some things you want to release in your life to create space for the new beginnings? Now, on that day, we do have Mercury sextiling up to Mars, which will be going into Saturday as well, which is not a major aspect, but a nice one for communication, for learning, for our routine. There might be a bit of energized energy there. Mars might be giving us a bit of a boost, a confidence, some motivation to communicate, to learn, to get involved with the routine. So you can choose or choose not to use that with the sextile, but it is available. And I do highly recommend it if you are feeling any of that energizing energy of Mars. All right, and then Saturday is the new moon, and then Sunday, we do have a very important aspect we'll likely be feeling on Saturday as well, actually, and this is Mars squaring up to Pluto. Two very powerful planets. In fact, both of these planets are about power, transformation. Mars traditionally rules Scorpio and Ophiuchus, and modernly Pluto rules Scorpio and Ophiuchus. So, all of this energy that's about transformation and change and non-attachment will be, I think, a major theme this weekend. So this can come across as perhaps a bit of this intensity of feeling this way, of our egos being very strong in terms of we have this need to fulfill what we want, to control things, to assert ourselves towards things. But if you do feel that it is an unhealthy balance, where it is a ruthlessness or an attachment, or this intensity of reacting based on the control, or based from the fear, essentially is where it really comes from. It's very instinctual. Do bring some conscious attention to that. It's an excellent weekend for practicing conscious awareness of the ego, of ourselves, of our personal needs, to make sure that when we are taking action, it is with that consideration. It is with non-attachment. It is with compassion. It is with understanding, especially if it's in the relationship sphere, but just generally taking that step back if we are feeling that control or whatever it is. All right, so great weekend for practicing that kind of stuff. And we will have the moon in Scorpio actually on Sunday. So I think there will be collectively this time of getting in touch with our deep feelings, seeing what truly matters most to us and what we've been bearing or hiding away for the past 30 days. And, emotionally, the past stuff. And this coming up to the surface for some awareness, right? And so through that, connecting to those deeper feelings, connecting to vulnerability, through vulnerability and non-attachment, all this stuff can be very, very empowering, actually. It can be very empowering Sunday going into Monday, in fact, with these transits. All right, and then on a minor note, Mercury is going to be trying the North Node, very much supporting this whole middle part of the eclipse cycle. Great day for learning, Sunday. Great day for learning about our life path, where things are headed, things like this. And again, that's really what we want to do anyways during a new moon, is really sit with the energies, listen, and see what is shaping up, and then sort of have that willingness to learn, have that flexibility, see where life is taking us, and through that set some intentions for the next month and year as well. All right, so everyone have a fantastic new moon. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all very soon for Monday's daily forecast. Take care.